which free agents from other teams will the 49ers sign? They may not have the cap space to do it, but I'm thinking there's probably one player they'll at least bid on that's a significant player who would be a starter for them. So if you had to guess one vet starter from another team who's a free agent that the Niners are planning to make a controlled run at, who do you think it would be?
All right. I'm going to kind of think outside the box, if that's okay with you, Grant. So
I like when you think outside the box.
Okay. So I cover all 32 NFL teams, right? Yes. And when I look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they're $43 million in the red. So they have to clear up cap space, bro. Right?
This is genius. You're not thinking about the guys who are free agents now, who the guys who are going to get cut. This is
right.
Other teams' cap casualties.
Right. Yes. So the only logical choice where they can clear up cap space at the starter position is Derrick Barnett, the 2017.
Ooh, that's been your guy.
That's my draft crush, right?
Been your guy, yes.
You go ahead and release Derrick Barnett, save the team $10 million. He's now in the free agent market. Obviously, we're talking about D Ford. Well, he's going to be gone anyways. Maybe they can get Derrick Barnett at a bargain rate than possibly getting one in the draft, because the draft is not very strong for the edge class and they need an edge. Derrick Barnett would fit the Leo position extremely well. You know how I feel about Derrick Barnett coming out of college. So yeah, Derrick Barnett would be my choice, man. I see that being a bold prediction, although he's not released yet. No one's reporting this. You heard it here first. Two bums in the pod.
I think it's genius. If you don't know, every year Ryan has a draft crush, and he's usually right on. I mean, last year it was Tristan Wirfs, if I remember correctly. And back in 2017, it was Derrick Barnett. You even asked John Lynch about him in the pre-draft thing. And you were right. You were right. Did you liked him better than was that 2017?
Yeah.
Or was that 18? You liked him better than Solomon Thomas.
Solomon Thomas.
Right. Right. So hell of a player would definitely replace D4. I think it's a good option. I'm going center. And they could address this position in the draft. But if they don't, I think there's a lot of interesting options on the free agent market. If they let Trent Williams go, that's $25 million. They don't have to spend on one offensive lineman. They can look at other positions, and center is a cheaper position. They could get Corey Linsley, who was all pro, hell of a player. They might have to spend a good chunk of change on him. Or they could get David Andrews, who's been the Patriots center for the last 4 or 5 years. He's a really good player. He doesn't miss a lot of time. He's cheap. He probably costs the Niners $3, $4, $5 million. That would be one guy, a starter that they could sign who would upgrade and solidify their line. And they could get, they could move Daniel Brunskill to tackle, because I don't know if he's a left tackle, but he's more of a tackle than Mike McGlinchey is at this point.
I like those choices, man. Corey Linsley, hey, you're smart, man. Solidify the offensive line and the rest will follow, right? So you get a center. They need a center. They need to make the line calls, man, because when you have J.J. Watt staring on the other side, he's going to feast on that, bro. He's going to smell blood in the water, bro. He's going to be like, dude, let's get the Sharks out here and let's circle the arc, bro. Let's get this guy.
It's true. And if you remember, the Niners did pretty well in 2019 when McGlinchey was out and when Staley was out. Because they had Richburg, who is at least a steady Eddie, decent starting center. Without him, they went to Garland, who was okay. And then last year they had Grassu, who's terrible, and Brunskill, who's not a center. So, if they could get a rookie, great. But it seems like Kyle seems to gravitate towards veteran centers because they're like the brains of the offense. They make the line calls, as you say.
Right.
So it could be Alex Mack. Alex Mack is just 36 years old.
He's old, bro.
Get someone. The Niners are becoming a very old team. Lindsey's 30. Andrews a little bit younger, a little bit cheaper. If they can get Corey Linsley, I guess he's a better player than Andrews. But there are other options. There are other options for sure. I like that. I would definitely, if the Niners lose Trent Williams, I think the Niners will and probably should solidify that center position.
Mm-hmm.